So you have to keep in mind that all of these questions, if they are giving you an equation, it can be solved using your TI-84 or 83, whichever one you have. The only thing you need to make sure is if you have this equation cosine 4 alpha minus sine 4 alpha is equal to half, you're making it cosine 4 theta 4 alpha minus sine 4 alpha minus half is equal to 0, because that's what your calculator takes, right? It doesn't have a right side to the equation, so you have to put all things on the left side and just put that in the calculator to figure out the answer. This was our equation, cosine alpha power 4 and sine alpha everything to the power 4 is equal to half. You could write cosine power 4 as cosine square and sine power 4 as square root of sine square alpha. Then cosine square alpha, you could use power reducing formula for that. And then sine squared, again you use the power reducing identity for that. There's a negative in the middle, so make sure you're using parentheses, and also because there's a square on top. Then make sure you're squaring the numerator and denominator. So when you square this, you get a squared, which is 1, plus 2ab, which is 2 times 1 times cosine 2 theta, plus b squared, which is cosine squared 2 theta alpha, whichever your angle is, 2 squared in the denominator. Minus is minus. Then you have this 1 minus, same thing over here, just expand it using the square on numerator and in denominator. So the denominator became 2 square and 2 square, both denominators are 4. I could combine it under one fraction. Here you have one, just copy everything down from here, then this negative, and then make sure to change signs inside. So negative 1 plus 2 cosine 2 theta and negative cosine square 2 theta. This 1 and negative 1 crosses out. Cosine square 2 alpha minus 2 cosine square 2 alpha, very satisfying. Cross those two out too. What you're left with is 2 cosine 2 alpha here and 2 cosine 2 alpha here. 2 plus 2 is 4 of those things. Cosine 2 alpha divided by 4 is as is equal to half. 4 and 4 crosses out, so you have half. Then you take inverse on both sides. So you get 2 alpha is equal to cosine inverse of half, which is pi over 3, and 5 pi over 3 since it's positive, so you have those. But again, this is 2 alpha. So when you bring this 2 down, it becomes pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. So I want you to remember your unit circle, and if your answer is pi over 6, which is a 30-degree angle, and 5 pi over 6, which is 150-degree angle. If your answer is this, then it also has to be this, because no, what am I saying? Okay, so if your answer is this 30 degrees, and here your cosine of the angle is half, then it's positive half here as well, right? And since it's negative half here at 150, or 5 pi over 6, it's also negative half here. So you're going to use pi over 6 plus n pi, where n represents your any integer, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 pi over 6 plus n pi. So this n pi suggests that you have this angle, which is pi over 6, and also this angle, which is 7 pi over 6, also this 5 pi over 6, and also this 11 pi over 6 as well. Hope it would help.